Somewhere in the world, people are living lives so rare and unique, they feel like fiction. Today, we're meeting some of the unusual men on the planet. We'll travel across the globe, meeting individuals whose stories are truly one in a trillion. These aren't just stories of rare conditions or bizarre physical transformations. They're stories of strength, resilience, and the amazing force of the human spirit. So, let's begin this mind-opening journey to see the world's most unusual men. Number 15. Nick's Face 1. Nicholas, better known as the Nick's Face 1 from Nova Scotia, has lived his whole life with neurofibromatosis type 1, which is a rare disorder that causes tumors to form along nerves. Since he was 7, his face has carried visible tumors that shaped his daily existence. He's undergone several surgeries to remove these growths, leaving him with more than 180 stitches. Each procedure was crucial, medically and emotionally. But instead of hiding, Nick steps forward with humor. He once joked, "People say I look like a pug, but I take it as a compliment. I love pugs." With unshakable wit and grit, he meets challenges head-on. While prepping for another major surgery, he's also actively supporting NF1 research. Online, Nick shares his journey on TikTok and Instagram, creating honest, funny, and uplifting videos with his younger brother, Chris. His story proves that differences aren't limits. They can be a launchpad for strength, openness, and a kind of resilience that speaks louder than appearances ever could. Number 14. Godfrey Baguma. Godfrey Baguma from Uganda was born with an unknown condition that severely altered his facial structure, leading to rejection and judgment from the very start. Even his own parents gave up on him. But Godfrey didn't let cruelty break him. He turned it into fuel. He entered Uganda's Ugliest Man contest and won. But instead of shame, he wore the title with pride. That win became his pivot point. Using his one-of-a-kind presence and talent, Godfrey launched into music and entertainment. His soulful vocals and raw charisma built a following and earned national respect. His songs echoed across Uganda, and his story challenged what beauty really means. But the biggest win? He found love. Despite the noise and the doubt, he got married and started a family. Godfrey's life became a beacon for anyone who's ever been judged by appearance. His story says it loud. It's not how you look, it's how you carry what life gives you. Number 13. Chinese Folded Boy. Yang Yanchen from China became known across the country as the Folded Boy. Born with ankylosing spondylitis, a brutal spinal disease, his back bent backward so sharply that his head nearly touched his lower body. By his teenage years, he stood barely 1 meter tall. Still, Jiang refused to quit. He kept studying, reading while kneeling or lying down, and even took his high school entrance exam on a yoga mat. He eventually got into Daeju University, majoring in energy and power engineering. In 2023, Jiang underwent 2 complex surgeries at Peking University Hospital, led by Dr. Wang Yu, to break and realign his spine. The first corrected his neck. The second reduced his fold from 180 to 90 degrees. The recovery was tough. Nerve damage and heart complications were real threats. But he pulled through. Now able to sit and stand briefly, Jiang is still pushing forward. His story redefines what it means to fight and never fold. Number 12. Huang Chunkai. Huang from China, often known as the Elephant Man, has lived with neurofibromatosis type 1 since childhood, a rare condition that causes tumors to grow along nerves. For Huang, they appeared mostly on his face, eventually weighing several kilograms and making even simple things like eating, talking, or turning his head a struggle. The weight wasn't just physical, it was emotional too. He endured endless stares and quiet ridicule, yet never chose isolation. Instead, Huang faced life with an unmatched resilience. Multiple surgeries reduced the size of the tumors, but they could never erase his spirit. His story gained worldwide attention, putting a face to NF1 and exposing the human reality behind rare diseases. Huang continues to live with courage and humor, refusing to let a condition define him. To many, he isn't just a patient, but proof that human strength, dignity, and hope can shine brighter than any hardship life imposes. Number 11. Amare Stover. This young boy from Alabama wears a smile that could light up any room, even while carrying a rare genetic disorder. Amare was born with neurofibromatosis type 1, which causes tumors to grow on nerves throughout the body. As Amare grew, tumors spread across his face, distorting his features and blocking his vision until only one eye remained functional. In a world that often judges harshly, Amare faced ridicule, isolation, and pain. But he refused to fold. With fierce support from his mom, Candace Stover, he keeps fighting, enduring chemotherapy and facing possible surgeries ahead. Candace launched a GoFundMe to help cover medical expenses, but what they've received goes beyond money. It's love, attention, and awareness. Amare's story reminds us that beauty isn't about balance or symmetry. It's about the fire inside. He's not defined by his condition. He's defined by heart and a joy that refuses to fade, no matter what comes. Number 10. Ralph Souffrant. Ralph Souffrant is a Haitian-American model whose unforgettable look, fiery red hair, dark skin, and a freckled face, redefined the fashion world's idea of beauty. Born in Haiti in 1995, Ralph moved to Brooklyn at 9. His freckles made him an easy target. He was mocked, picked on, and made to feel like an outsider. But instead of shrinking, he stood taller. "I've been bullied, but I refuse to be broken," he once said. Everything changed after an open casting call in New York, where out of thousands, Ralph was chosen to walk in Kanye West's Yeezy Season 3 show at Madison Square Garden. That moment blew the doors open. He landed campaigns for Fendi, Diesel, and Adidas, and became the first male face of Beyoncé's Ivy Park. He's walked for Tommy Hilfiger and appeared in Vogue, GQ, and ID. Ralph's not just a model, he's a statement. He represents individuality and proves freckles, like people are one of one. Number 9. Adam Pearson. From England, Adam also lives with neurofibromatosis type 1, which made his life a hell. It reshaped his face early in life, but instead of hiding, Adam chose visibility. He turned difference into advocacy, becoming a presenter, campaigner, and actor. His breakout role in Under the Skin, opposite Scarlett Johansson, challenged audiences to see beyond physical appearance. Off-screen, Adam works tirelessly to promote understanding, fighting stigma through humor, honesty, and empathy. His charisma makes him approachable, while his dedication to awareness inspires thousands. He teaches that resilience isn't about enduring, it's about thriving where you're underestimated. Whether speaking on television or in schools, Adam's message stays constant. Beauty belongs to those who own their story. His impact reaches far beyond entertainment. It lives in every person he empowers to see worth in themselves. Adam Pearson doesn't just represent strength, he defines it, standing as proof that difference is power. Number 8. Chirag Panpalia. Chirag, from India, earned the nickname Rubber Boy for good reason. Since childhood, his body has moved in ways that defy logic. While most kids were learning to tie their shoes, Chirag was twisting his limbs into impossible shapes that left even trained yogis speechless. His flexibility isn't a trick, it's an art. He can rotate his head 180 degrees, bend his torso at unnatural angles, and fold himself into positions that seem unreal. Doctors found no disorder, just a naturally gifted body perfected through years of discipline. Starting yoga at age 5, Chirag turned flexibility into meditation. Today, he performs across schools, events, and TV shows across India, captivating audiences with control and grace. Some call him the boneless man, but Chirag calls it purpose. His body bends, but his spirit never breaks. For him, flexibility is more than performance. It's devotion, balance, and the beauty of pushing the limits of human form. Number 7. Liu Jihei. For over a decade, 56-year-old Liu Jihei, a villager from Dashanzhuang in Shandong province, lived with a giant lipoma, a benign yet massive fatty tumor that grew across his neck. Despite its clear impact on his health, Liu avoided treatment for years, choosing instead to save what little money he had for his family. His situation became a powerful symbol of rural China's quiet struggles, where love often outweighs self-care. The tumor grew steadily, affecting his ability to sleep and perform simple daily tasks. Eventually, his story reached the public eye, drawing attention to how poverty deepens medical suffering. When local authorities and doctors offered to help, Liu finally underwent surgery to remove the multi-kilogram tumor. The operation was successful, and his recovery became a moment of collective empathy across China. Liu's story embodies silent strength, the kind of sacrifice that rarely makes headlines but defines the human heart, enduring pain so those you love can live better. What do you think about him? Number 6. Budimir Buddha Shobat. Most people hold their breath for a few seconds. Budimir Buddha Shobat from Croatia held his for 24 minutes and 37.36 seconds, setting the Guinness World Record in 2021. Yes, 24 full minutes underwater. Years of freediving and yoga-trained breath control gave him superhuman discipline. His heart rate slows to near sleep levels, and his body conserves oxygen with machine-like precision. But Buddha's mission wasn't fame. It was meaning. He dedicated the record to raise awareness for children with autism, including his daughter. Every second underwater carried a purpose. His training was more than endurance. It was devotion. That record didn't just prove human potential, it proved human will. Budimir showed that control, patience, and love can rewrite what the body believes possible. When he surfaced, it wasn't just about breath, it was about belief. He didn't hold his breath for attention. He held it for compassion, making the world pause and truly listen. But please never try this thing at home. Number 5. Joseph Williams. Joseph Williams's life began with one of the rarest medical conditions known. He was born without a jaw. From birth, every breath, every meal, and every attempt to communicate demanded unimaginable effort. Doctors doubted his future, but Joseph never accepted their limits. Growing up, he endured stares and isolation, but his resolve stayed unbreakable. He learned sign language and developed his own ways to communicate, proving a voice doesn't need vocal cords to be heard. School was hard, socially and academically, but he never let it defeat him. Instead, he transformed silence into power. Joseph refuses pity. He sees his condition as just another part of his story. His message remains simple yet powerful. Your obstacles don't define your life. You do. Today, Joseph lives with pride, humor, and purpose, inspiring millions. Even without a jaw, he speaks louder than most ever could, reminding the world that resilience always finds its own language. All right, guys, now let's head over to Number 4. Jono Lancaster. Jono Lancaster was born with Treacher-Collins syndrome, a rare condition that alters facial bone development and gives distinct features. Growing up, he faced relentless bullying and rejection. But instead of collapsing under the weight of judgment, Jono rebuilt himself with resilience and purpose. He realized early that beauty isn't perfection. It's compassion, humor, and self-acceptance. Over time, Jono transformed pain into power, becoming a global advocate for people with craniofacial differences. He travels the world, sharing his story, inspiring kids who once felt invisible. His goal isn't pity, it's perspective. He reminds the world that kindness matters more than symmetry, and confidence can outshine cruelty. Beyond his advocacy, Jono's positivity radiates wherever he goes. He's living proof that purpose can grow from pain. Through his work, he's not just changing perceptions, he's changing lives. Jono Lancaster's journey stands as one of self-love, courage, and defiance against everything the world once told him he couldn't be. Number 3. Jose Serrano. In Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, young Jose Serrano faced a fight no child should endure. Born with venous lymphangioma, he developed a massive tumor on his neck and shoulder, larger than his own head. It crushed his airway, strained his body, and made basic life painful. Local doctors couldn't treat him, so he lived for years under its weight until American missionaries stepped in. They arranged care at the University of New Mexico Children's Hospital, where a 25-member team performed a 12-hour surgery to remove nearly 1/3 of the mass. To control the bleeding, doctors used sildenafil, yes, Viagra, to constrict blood vessels and make the procedure safer. It worked. Today, Jose breathes, sits, and sleeps better, attending school again for the first time in years. His fight isn't over, but the difference is life-changing. His courage turned tragedy into hope, and his name into a symbol of faith, science, and the quiet bravery of childhood. Number 2. Prabhulal Prasannan. From Kerala, Prabhulal was born with moles covering nearly 80% of his face. From birth, crowds gathered just to glimpse the different child. His childhood was harsh. Stares, whispers, and bullying followed him everywhere. In school, classmates avoided him, and even teachers kept their distance. At a science fair, students mocked him, asking if he had dung on his face. Those taunts pushed him into isolation, and he once questioned why he was born this way. College offered no escape. Students screamed and ran from him on his first day. At his lowest point, he considered ending his life. But in 2017, everything shifted. He posted his photos online, facing the world instead of hiding. What came next was unexpected: support, admiration, and love. Though surgery remains risky, Prabhulal now accepts himself fully. His courage turned ridicule into respect. He stands today as a reminder that confidence, once found, can silence any cruelty the world throws. Number 1. Martin Avery. Martin Avery weighed just 48 pounds, not because he starved, not because of illness. His body just wouldn't hold weight. Chronic dyspepsia, they called it. He stood 5 feet 3, thin as wire, lived in New York, married, kept to himself, no show posters, no spotlight, no freak tent. He wasn't a performer. He was just a man trying to live. There's not much written about him. No press clippings, no quotes. He died in 1882 of pancreatitis, buried in Moravian Cemetery. No circus send-off, no crowd gawking, just a quiet grave, a quiet life. He didn't try to market his body, didn't turn it into a ticketed exhibit. That's rare, because when the world sees something unusual, it usually demands a show. Martin refused. Or maybe he just didn't want to be known for what he couldn't change. His story didn't get sold, but it still matters. Not everybody that stands out wants to be stared at. Some just want to be left alone. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you very soon.